Hello guys, it's Swing. Welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys some resume and portfolio tips for WEBTOON. So these resume and portfolio tips will only be for those who are interested in working with us as a scriptwriter or a freelance artist of some sort. Because I am a creative producer at WEBTOON, these are most of the kinds of resumes and portfolios that I work with, so that's where I'd be able to give my best advice. So yeah, let's jump right in. My first tip is actually the cover letter. The cover letter is actually very underrated. People forget about the cover letter all the time. I'd say make one, and cover letters are pretty important if you use them wisely. When I look at all the resumes that are coming in through, the job hiring portal, I very much see the ones that stand out the most are those that have cover letters. But you can't just have any other type of cookie cutter cover letter. Like, I can very much tell the difference between what cover letter was reused for multiple different companies and what cover letter was specifically geared towards the job you're applying for, aka in this case WEBTOON. And so I very much enjoy seeing the cover letters that show more about you, your personality, your interests, and why you specifically chose to apply for this position at WEBTOON. And so the ones that bring me the most joy and the cover letters that actually stand out the most to me are those who tell about their personal relationship with WEBTOON. So I love reading the ones that have been like, I've been reading WEBTOONs ever since XX amount of years. My favorite WEBTOONs are this and this. I really like this WEBTOON because I like this type of genre, and when I'm working in my other job experiences or even just in my free time, I like consuming this type of media, which is similar to this type of WEBTOON. So that type of cover letter to me really shows that you are very passionate about WEBTOONs, you're really passionate about the medium, and you also know a lot about WEBTOONs. So when we expect you to write a script or a story that is for WEBTOON, we very much have trust that you know what's up, you have the sauce, you know what the secret sauce is, because I feel like the secret sauce for WEBTOON can only be accumulated through years of reading and just understanding the platform. So to me, that is a very good sign that you are a very strong candidate. Please utilize your cover letter to your fullest potential, because the cover letter is that space, that free space where you can just talk about yourself. All right, so let's get to the resume itself. What are the things that I'm looking for usually when I look at the resume? Graduation, so what college did you graduate from? What year did you graduate from? What did you major? What did you study? I also look at work experience, so what is your prior work experience before applying to this position? Then I look for the more important things, which we probably already have on your resume already. If you don't, you should probably put it in, which is an email, like some way to contact you. And if you don't have a website, it's totally fine, but I find websites very useful, and I'll actually talk about that more later. And so basically on your resume, it would be really nice to have a link to your website. So those four things is kind of what I look through, because obviously we have thousands and thousands of applications coming in whenever we do open up a job opportunity. So I have to look through resumes really quickly, and so these are the big ones that I look for, because based on each project, I'm looking for somebody different. I'm looking for someone who can bring something specifically to the table, and so these are the four things that I look for in order to kind of get an idea of the person and what their experience is. One thing that I think you should avoid on your resume and also your cover letter is avoid having vague descriptors for your experiences or qualifications. For example, I see this a lot, like people would say, I'm a great team player, or they would say something like, I am organized. It would be ideal if we were able to see this through your previous job experiences. So give us an example instead of just saying that you are a good team player. It could be, in college, I worked on this video game and I was the creative director and I had to do this. Like every single week, I had to meet up with the team and organize our schedules for the week. And I had to, work with the artists on the team and make sure the vision was the same. So this would be a very strong example of somebody who was involved in a team, who shows great leadership skills, who is flexible. So they don't even need to say those words, just the fact that they have done this thing, done this activity, and they listed out what their tasks were, their duties were for that job experience or that experience, helps for us to understand that they actually have this experience and they actually have practiced leadership, you know, teamwork and flexibility and all these kinds of things. The biggest thing I'd want to see from somebody's resume is just to get a really good idea of who this person is. I think this applies for everyone who is looking at resumes. We are ultimately going to work with this person for a very extended period of time, so we want to make sure this person is someone that is trustworthy, which is why, I mean, you don't have to give any personal details like where you live and all those kinds of things, but making the resume feel more like meeting somebody. So I really like resumes where people put in photos of themselves. I really like resumes where people have their LinkedIns attached. That's also why I really recommend you to make a website, play around, talk about what your dreams are, talk about what your career goals are, talk about what you like to do, what some of your previous work has been, all of these kinds of things. Not only that, just like the formatting of your website can show a lot about that person, what they're interested in, what their style is. Sometimes I see a resume and it's just a white paper with black text, nothing else. There's no link to anything. There's just somebody's name and I don't know anything about this person. And obviously it's really hard for me to make a decision, even if I think this person is really talented, because I don't know who they are. Also why I really recommend to connect to your socials if you have any. Socials are also really important for us and we look at those all the time. The reason why we kind of snoop on people's social medias is because we want to have a good idea of how this person carries themselves amongst their community and how they present themselves online, because it is a very good reflection of how they present themselves as a person. We just want to see if they seem like somebody that we would love to work with. So this is my last and final tip for resumes. I highly encourage you, when they ask if you can attach any other external samples, please attach samples. I mean, it is very hard to decide whether or not you're a good scriptwriter when we don't see any of your work. Please attach a script. That way we have a really good idea of what genres you gravitate towards, of what your writing style is like, what your writing experience is like. If you could write a script just for the application, honestly, that just shows you put in so much work. Write a script for WEBTOON for the WEBTOON job application. And obviously, because WEBTOON is a medium that is very different, we can see a lot from you writing a WEBTOON script, because the pacing and the way to formulate a WEBTOON script is completely different from any other industry. My biggest tip when people are writing WEBTOON scripts is that I try to tell them to be able to visualize what you're writing as you write it. And so if you cannot visualize this scene or this panel in your head as a drawing, then most likely it's going to be very difficult to draw and the script would have issues down the line in art production. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't tried it before, if you haven't done it, to try writing a WEBTOON script. And then when you want to apply for a WEBTOON job opportunity that has opened, you can stick that in, and that would give you so many bonus points, and I would probably read the heck out of it, whatever it is. So yeah, that is my last and final tip for those who are interested in applying as a scriptwriter to work on a project with us. All right, so that concludes this video for those who want to work with us in a producerial kind of manner. That being said, I hope you guys have an awesome week. I will see you guys in the next video. Happy creating! Now I'm going to move on to the art portfolios. So art portfolios nowadays are all on website formats. Biggest tip, if you're looking to find a job at WEBTOON, a freelance opportunity at WEBTOON,